Hello, English learners. We continue our series on silent letters in the English language. And up until now, we've talked about silent letters that we're grateful that they are silent because pronouncing them in certain English words would make the word more difficult to pronounce, like the silent K in knife. Knife is a little bit harder to say than just knife, or the silent G in align, a lign, a ligan. That would be hard. That's hard to say. I can't even imagine how that would be pronounced. Today's letter, however, I'm very curious to know why it became silent in these particular words, because in fact, it doesn't really make the word any harder to say if you do pronounce the L. It's just that it's not, well, I've given it away, haven't I? The letter L. It's not any harder to say these words pronouncing the letter L, it's just that we don't for some reason. And these are perhaps the words that I've heard the most mistakes in. A very common word, for example, talk. Talk. Now you know that has an L in there, but nobody says talk. Another one, which is very commonly mispronounced, one of my favorite foods, salmon. Now, why is not pronounced salmon? I think in other languages the L is pronounced, other languages which have a similar word. But in English, the L we don't say it, salmon, so it's simply salmon. There really aren't that many words with silent L's in them in English, so they're pretty easy to memorize. Three extremely popular ones, which you'll recognize immediately, and they're all closely related to each other. Could, would, and should. It's not could, would, should. It's could, would, and should. So, if you learned those three, you've already conquered probably 50% of the usage or commonly used words that have silent L's in them. I'll put a list in the comments below of other words. As I say, it's a very short list. I may have left some out. If you think of any, please feel free to add them in the comments. Words that have silent L's in them in English. Also, put in the comments any other questions you might have or suggestions that you might have as well for future episodes of pronunciation practice. Meanwhile, as always, I wish you a terrific week. Bye-bye.